I asked him like an arsonist. My son said, if that's what they're called, I'll be good at doing that job. Hi guys, welcome back to the Quora Zone. Today we're reading from Have You Ever Been Horrified by Something Your Child Said? Our first post is from Alexis Erickson. We were attending birth class for our second baby. Our first son was 2 years old, and the birth center offered a class for older siblings, so I'd know a little bit about what to expect when the new baby came home. We all sat on the floor while instructors diapered and bathed a life-size baby doll. Then there was a large poster board with 3 babies pictured. I don't remember what the lesson was at that point. Clear as a bell, my 2-year-old spoke up. Mum, that baby is dirty. I looked at the poster carefully and didn't see a dirty baby or a dirty diaper. I asked him what he was talking about, and he repeated more loudly, pointing for emphasis, that baby is dirty. I was always one to encourage kids to ask questions, so I was about to ask him to clarify when my severe husband leaned in and whispered, he's talking about the African American baby. As if in a nightmare, I realized one baby on the poster was black. My son had never seen a black person, and everyone in the room understood his point before my husband clued me in. I blushed brick red and would have fled the room, but it was hard to get up off the floor with my big pregnant tummy. I had to sit through the rest of the class with my face flaming. On the way home, we had a much-needed discussion on ethnicity. Our next post is from Kendrick Triplets. I went on a camping trip with my son. I was cooking a usual charcoal grill, but right before I lit it, my son said he wanted to watch me light the fire. I thought nothing of it. I was feeling fatherly, teaching my 6-year-old son about grilling and camping. We made a campfire later. That evening, and once again, my son wanted to light the wood. This time I asked him, was he interested in being a fireman? He said, no. He said, firemen put out fire. I want to start fires. I asked him like an arsonist. My son said, if that's what they're called, I'll be good at doing that job. We had a long conversation about his career choices and fire safety, just so I could get a good night's sleep. I locked my matches in the trunk of the car and under the spare tire. This incident happened in October of 2017, and I'm happy to report there hasn't been any fire issues. Our next post is from Kathleen Milligan. My young children were blissfully unaware of their great-grandmother's decline and did not attend her funeral. Although I had prepared them for the inevitable by talking about the concept of death and shared with them my own beliefs of heaven on the day that she passed away. I told my 2 children separately. My 4-year-old son took it in a stride. When I told my sweet, precious 3-year-old daughter, Great-Grandma Mary is in heaven now, she responded with, I remember Evan. I thought she must have misunderstood me. Perhaps she was talking about a boy in a preschool. No, honey, I said heaven, not Evan. My daughter was quick to respond. I know you said heaven, but I was talking about Evan. He is in heaven now too. Now I was confused. Who is Evan? I asked her. My brother, she said simply. This gave me a huge pause. Her brother is not named Evan. We do not know anyone named Evan, and she certainly had never had a brother named Evan. What are you talking about? I finally managed to ask her. Evan, she said in a tone that indicated I was a dummy for not knowing. He was my brother, but Daddy got mad at him and now he's in heaven. A chill ran down my spine. I had no idea what she was talking about, but it sounded like she was describing that her father had gotten mad at her brother and hurt him so badly that he died. Was she remembering something from a past life? Something she had seen on TV? Our children were so young at that time. My husband and I didn't even let them watch TV shows or movies beyond that intended for kids their age. I had so many questions, but before I could ask her anything, she became distracted and wandered off to play with her stuffed animals. When I brought it up later that day, she didn't remember the conversation. I never learned what was behind the bizarre, very matter-of-fact statements. It creeps me out to this day to recall that conversation. Our next post is from M. Perry. We had a few different experiences with my daughter when she was between 2 and 5 years old. That freaked me and us out. One day, after taking a walk with her, I was putting her stroller away in a small room under our house that looks from the outside. I unlocked the door and was rolling the stroller into the room when she asked me, What's that man doing there, Mama? I asked, What man? She pointed and said, That man, right there. I looked where she was pointing and saw nothing. then pushed the stroller into the room as fast as I could, slammed the door, locked it, and ran upstairs. Every hair was on an end and I couldn't stop shaking. She seemed completely unfazed. I later sent my husband to check out the room. It was still locked from the outside, and he didn't see anyone in there. All I'm imagining is just like big dark room and then just like some random ghost person like in the corner. Like that's like creepy as like basement vibes. I don't have a basement, but like from watching American movies and stuff. Yeah. Another time, while my husband was cooking dinner, my daughter and I were in the dining room playing. I mentioned something about how much my dad liked what my husband was cooking. My dad passed away while I was pregnant with my daughter. My daughter said, "Oh, Grandpa is on the other side, Mama." My husband poked his head into the dining room with a puzzled look on his face. Wish I could raise one eyebrow. Someone teach me. And I asked her what she meant. She said, "Grandpa is on the other side, in the empty place." I asked how she knew that, and she said, "He told me." On a separate occasion, my daughter told me that my dad talked to her at night and told her nice things. She would see his face smiling and her laughing, and he wore a red and black checkered bathrobe. My dad did have a red and black checkered bathrobe, like she described. She eventually stopped saying things like that, and now doesn't remember any of it. But my husband and I certainly do, and I am still creeped out by the room under our house. Our next post is from Lucy Murray. My daughter, who has Down syndrome, has said two things since my husband died last year. He's buried behind the beautiful old church where we held his funeral. Our daughter had never been to that funeral before that day. It wasn't one we passed very often while out driving before the funeral, and I certainly made a point of avoiding it since. Then about 5 months after he died, due to a road closure, we did have to pass the church. We were on our way home from McDonald's where she'd been given a balloon. As we drove by, she suddenly smiled and said, "Look at my green balloon." "Yes, it's lovely, isn't it?" I said. She looked somewhat irritated and replied, "Not you, I was showing Daddy." A month or so after that, she was playing with a kiddie camera, taking photos of everything. She aimed it at me, so I smiled for the picture. After she'd taken it, she looked at the screen on the back of the camera and laughed. "Funny, Daddy." I asked her to show me the photo she'd taken. "Look, Daddy," she pointed and laughed again. Well, I could only see myself in that picture, though there was a strange light, almost like a halo, behind my head. Goodness only knows what she saw. Our next post is from Paulette Oakes. I'm pretty sure most parents have been horrified and or embarrassed by something that their child said, and I am no exception. I have 3 daughters, but this story will focus on my youngest one, who was just 8 years old when this happened. Last fall, my oldest daughter was in her last year of college, and my youngest and I drove 45 minutes to visit her for her birthday. Just for some background, let me explain that my eldest attended a small liberal arts college and she volunteered to room with foreign exchange students. The first year, she had a Chinese roommate, but the last 3 years she roomed with Japanese girls. We'd met each of them, and they were all so lovely and polite. And the 3 students from Japan, we all knew each other and loved my daughter. Because I'm a good Southern mama, I gave my daughter's roommates Christmas gifts and invited them with us to eat when we visited, so my youngest daughter had met all of them. This night, though, was the first time she met the third and last of the Japanese young ladies. We were sitting around the table at a Mexican restaurant, myself, my 2 daughters, and the roommate. We were conversing and getting to know her. My youngest daughter pipes up and says, "Do you still have the Pokemon picture I drew for you?" Thinking nothing of it, I said, "Oh, sweetie, you drew that picture for last year's roommate. This is X, her new roommate." That's when she dropped the bomb that horrified and embarrassed both me and a big sister. How was I supposed to know? They all look alike. I could have melted into my chair. I merely corrected her and let her know how inappropriate and wrong her statement was, but the roommate only smiled and assured us that she was not offended. I take it as a compliment, because both of them are very pretty. She was such a sweet girl, and I made sure to give her an extra nice Christmas gift. As for my youngest daughter, we have since had many conversations about differences in others and how to appropriately talk to people of all races, religions, and sexualities. Most importantly, she has learned that comments about appearances should never be uttered unless it is positive and uplifting. She's only 9 years old now, but she's taken the lessons to heart and now understands how much words can hurt others. Our next post is from Samantha Will. Apparently, one of the children I babysit for stumped his dad one day. There are some chickens. They sell the eggs, and the 3-year-old puts the money in his piggy bank to pay for the chicken feed. He's also in charge of feeding the chickens and gathering the eggs. He takes this very seriously. The chickens are young, but have started laying regularly. During the snow, we had the chickens stop laying. The boy goes out to talk to the chickens about the fact that they aren't laying, so he isn't making money. He tells the chickens if they don't start laying, he's going to put one of them on the grill to show what happens to chickens that don't lay eggs. They started laying again the next day. Yes, a 3-year-old chicken pimp. Alright guys, that is all from the Quora Zone today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favourite ones are down in the comments below, or if you have your own crazy, creepy child story, let me know in my email, which I will then post and share the story. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more.